Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop, and you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. As you know, JP Jr. used to be introduced as the sexiest man in bowling, and now the world. But he doesn't have the best hair in the world. I do. Sorry, bud, but you know the deal. Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. You'll get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this or any other generation. So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Rad Rob, Rob Francois. Dr. Ocho. Dr. Ocho. And the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr. Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. I'm your host, Rad Rob, Rob Francois, joined by the man with the shiniest mask on this podcast. He is the one and only Mr. Dr. Ocho. Good evening, Ocho.
You know, I don't think we should do raw looks into other aspects. We should probably do like medium well, given like, you know, trichinosis or like salmonella, or even I'll do medium. We just can't do raw. We shouldn't do raw looks into, other aspects is what I'm saying.
Fun fact, Taryn likes raw meat. And that's not one of her typical jokes. No, that's something that... is
that on like her LinkedIn page that you stalked repeatedly? Rad Rob. Happy birthday, Nicole.
Happy birthday, Nicole. You didn't know
make a whole year again before it's her birthday again.
You didn't know that Taryn and I were best friends?
4 months ago.
How are you, buddy? You doing all right? How's the kid going? Is she like 4 or 5 now? Months?
I have a kid?
Oh.
Oh, shit. I gotta go. I have a kid. I forgot. See you guys.
Also joining us is the third member of the team. He is the man with the name on the marquee. He is number 7 on the program. He is number 1 in your hearts. The one and only and sexiest man in the world, Johnny Petraglia Jr. Good evening, Junior.
What's up, bud? Not feeling too good about myself. I watched my first live Mets game yesterday for first time in maybe a month, and turned it on. It was 4-1, and that ship sailed nice and quickly. So way to go, Mets. Dude,
at least you're not a Red Sox fan. The Red Sox make the Mets look good.
I think, honestly, thank God I'm not an Oakland Athletics fan or a future Las Vegas Athletics fan.
That's fair. That's fair. I take it you're not going to go to any games if they come through.
Oh, I'm definitely going to go to some games, man. I mean, there's nothing like live baseball to me.
Well, sure, you can get first base sides for like $25.
Yeah, that and hockey for me are two sports that are worth going to live.
Have you been to any Golden Knights games this year?
No, not this year, actually. Last year I went to several. But that's, man, I mean, I was never really into hockey until we moved out here.
Wait. You're from Jersey, dude.
I was not into hockey. I was a baseball and a football fan. But once I got here and we got the Knights and everybody, you know, that's the first team that belongs to this city. It's not a transplant. And
Okay.
And they went to the finals their first year, their inaugural year.
They're fucking stacked. They've been stacked.
We've been a great team since they've been a great team. I hate when people say we've been a great team, like I had anything to fucking do with their success.
You did. I do for my teams, though. Damn it.
Yeah, we all do. We do it for our teams. Let's.
But going to a game, going to a Knights game is like apparently the greatest place to see a hockey game. So
right now it is. Yes. Mike Jones, what's going on, brother? Tony C
against Kevin Dyson in the '99 Super Bowl.
Tony's in the house. Kyle Michalowski's in the house.
What up, Kyle?
Yellow wrong.
I'm in the house. See.
Shit! Somebody block Rob Francois.
Francois.
Mr. Sperone is here. Good evening, John.
Hey, Johnny.
We got Nicole here. We already wished her happy birthday. We got Mr. Pico here. Sherry's in the house.
All right, then.
Sperone. Well, I already mentioned him. Statina. Who else we got here? Taryn's here. Of course, Taryn's here.
I'm glad that Statina likes my caption and I can't see it. What's up, Ian?
Hello, Ian.
What does it say? I can't see it either.
Yeah,
where's our little taglines, man?
Right here.
Crambone.
Oh, if I want to go in and eat it right. Crambone.
I can't stop myself from doing something.
Because it makes you want to. It's like the freaking.
I can't stop it.
Where did it come from? Where did it go?
Yes.
Crambone.
We're going to jump into the USBC here in a second. I'm just going through roll call. JD, the legend, in the house.
So where's our names, Rob? Where's our names, man? What happened?
They're right here.
Oh, there.
Troy Lynch should be here soon, but
that's why Statina likes my tag.
Yeah.
Now that I can see it, because I forgot what I wrote for a second.
Yeah, you're some fan.
Yeah, well.
So did I, so I can't say nothing.
That is my broad blanket, like, that's my dark horse.
There's no broads allowed in this show.
We can't say broad anymore. USBC is up to their old tricks again. Here is the letter that they put out that Johnny can't see.
I'll read it.
Dear 2023 USBC Queens participants, today's Kegel CEO announced that an electrical issue with Kegel's lane machine caused irregularities with the lane conditions on the first day of qualifying at the Queens and the PWBA competition in Grand Rapids. Well, why didn't they put "Hey bowlers" in the Grand Rapids in the little fucking their greeting too? Here's a copy of the statement. Over the last 2 weeks at the USBC Queens in Las Vegas and the PWBA Classic in Grand Rapids, there were irregularities in ball motion on a few lanes during competition. A few irregularities.
I have that when I jump out of an airplane, by the way. Big time.
Which included lane 38 and 41, the first day of qualifying at the Queens, and lane 31 last Thursday at the PWBA Classic. We observed the differences in ball reaction like everyone else and acknowledged that something wasn't right on those lanes. Kegel had been working with USBC to explore possible reasons that could explain this. The random nature of this issue made this very difficult to troubleshoot, but our team has now identified what created the problem. Our lane machine had an unusual electrical issue which caused it to sporadically apply less oil on the aforementioned lanes. Given the nature of this problem, we're confident this is these guys. We're confident this is responsible for the problematic lanes over the last few weeks. We feel terrible. It's so awful. This situation occurred and are especially sorry to the bowlers who may have been affected. We have a long track record of providing professional lane maintenance services for tournaments around the world. Rest assured, we'll do everything in our power to ensure this doesn't happen again. Respectfully, Chris.
Oil spill when the guy went on and was like, "I'm so sorry," and he's polluting millions and millions of gallons in the freaking ocean.
You boys didn't run the seabed test.
He goes, "We won't do this again. We're so sorry." And he's on like a yacht in one commercial.
Yeah,
like the BP yacht. Like, you fucking idiot. Well, there's no self-awareness, man. This is great.
The USBC is making reparations. They are giving $500 to each of the 59 players at the Queens who bowled on lanes 37 and 38 or 41 and 42 on day one and did not make the cut. Kegel has told USBC there will be two new
the
machines.
That make the cut don't get their freaking refund.
Right.
Yeah.
Because just the people that were, so in other words, you could have finished last. You could have finished 300th out of 300 bowlers and made more money than somebody that cashed and lost their first two.
And made $275 for cash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so somebody legit who finished in last place that hit that pair or somewhere in the bottom 10 of the tournament got $500. So
essentially they got it back, I guess, but it's still bullshit that, like, shouldn't you?
Yeah.
If you, oh my God. Go ahead.
Let's start at the top, Johnny. Who made Kegel take one for the team? Who threw them under the bus?
I don't think Kegel was thrown under the bus.
I think so?
I think Kegel's statement that was released is to the best of their knowledge of what happened, because as we've seen at this point, there were no error codes displayed on the machine itself. I mean, they spent days trying to diagnose the issue after it happened, not once but twice, including Grand Rapids and the Great Lakes Classic, because of the next event it happened again. But nobody ever really called out Kegel because mistakes happen, guys. It's that was never the issue to begin with. The issue came from the USBC blatantly telling everybody to shut their fucking mouths because they don't have a voice anymore. And then they finally got pushed to a wall when Kegel apparently said, look, guys, we tried to decipher every which way we know from Sunday as to what went wrong with the machine, why it malfunctioned, why did it only malfunction on 2 lanes at one event and 1 lane on another event. We're in the process of bringing in new machines to try and find this error code that we never saw. Like, they're trying to figure out something logical and factual to tell to the player. The USBC is now, our back's against the wall. What's the cheapest way we can get out of this? I know the people that didn't make money, that hit the pair, we can give them each $500. There's only 60 of them. What's that, 30 grand? Is that what it comes out to?
They thought the North Korea model was going to make it sweep under the rug a little quicker, but I mean...
Exactly.
Don't ever talk back about us, or else not only will we fine you, we'll just disband the whole goddamn league.
So, I mean, do you believe Kegel, or you don't believe that they were just kind of, I don't want to say strong-armed into making a statement?
I believe what happened was the oiling machine malfunction, whether
it's accurate,
it was user error or it was machine error that auto-corrected itself with no knowledge to the user or the person oiling the lanes. I think that it was why would you ever deliberately fuck up 2 lanes at one event and then 1 lane in another event? First off, you don't even know who you're harming at the start of the event. And if you do, you're only harming that person in 1 game. So there's nothing evil or
I don't know that anybody thought there was nefarious intent. It was just the fact that they
I did.
Almost
I'm sure lots of people did.
No, but they were kind of denying it almost at first, going we oiled them accordingly and they measured our topography stakes or whatever the hell they say.
Well, they put a huge layer of bullshit.
Basically, their lie, exactly, Rob. Their lie had to become a bigger and more stretched out lie until eventually the lies were gone. They can't make any more lies.
And here's why.
Yeah, and now because our backs are really against the wall, we're going to pay off the people that are the most deserving of it, which are the people that competed. And of those 59 players, who's, let's just say maybe 3 of them or 2 of them were actually screwed by that one pair the one day they had to cross it. It's not like all 59 of those girls make it into the round of 64 for matches. It's so you take care of one, you got to take care of them all. But again, they did it because their back was against the wall. There were no other outs. There was nothing else to bullshit or weasel their way through at this point. And now it's becoming even more evident because now you see even more and more. You see more of the ladies professionals saying something to the general public, making, there's a little clip of Sydney Brummett talking about it. We've obviously seen Gigi's comments about it. They're kind of not dealing with it anymore. So, and it's one of those things where I back the side of the bowler. I am so on the bowler's side on this. It's I mean, it seems like most of the bowling community is now. But seriously, I mean, when you're
court of public opinion is really what took over, and that's kind of as far as the governing body, they still are governed by people. They're the governing body, but the people make up the governing body. And it was the rationist shit that they started with is kind of what made the court of public opinion become so apparent and force them to go, oh, okay. You got me.
Well, they're doing damage control now after everybody.
What else can they do? Had they just started with this in the beginning, you're fine.
Yes.
You literally are going, hey, shit, you're right, man. Wow, the machine malfunctioned. We tried to figure it out. We tried our little test gimmicks and nothing worked. You save I don't want to say save face because again, I don't, like Johnny says, it wasn't intentional.
You
There's
show care,
intent. Right? You show like, oh shit, we didn't mean this, and we hope this never happens again, and we're gonna find out why. On the first day,
like you said, Ocho, if the players are your governing body, you say halt the tournament. It's day one, and you get on the loudspeaker and you take a collective vote of your players, guys. You want us to re-oil or not? And then from right then and there. It doesn't take rocket science to say, okay, how many players are going to cross this pair today? We'll make sure this doesn't happen again. We're going to compensate all of them. And then regardless of if they make it or not, they get it, and they get the fee for being penalized for having to bowl on that pair to begin with. And they not only could fix the issue right then and there, they become the winner in the entire thing. But per usual, they followed the awesome path of their treacherous, evil, fucking disgusting leader, and just went right along with saying, no, you assholes keep your mouths shut while we do all this nonsense right here that we're going to continue to do. And finally, they got stuck once. And I hope they keep getting stuck because they're a fucking burden on society.
They almost gave like the how dare you. They almost gave like the how dare you question us thing when they were in the wrong the whole freaking time. And that's such a ballsy move and such a it's like tyrannical almost. Again, it's North Korea style, man.
What I don't understand, and this is what Roger and Sperone kind of had a good point here. As bowlers, we should just not sanction and see how fast they change their tune when they lose millions from sanction fees. Why don't we just start our own leagues with our own pots and our own prize fund and manage it ourselves?
That's the crazy part about it, though, is it's already been happening. We just don't realize it because it's on such a small scale.
Okay,
guys, remember when there was 8 million members in USBC sanctioned leagues? That was like 40 years ago, and then 20 years ago,
like 2 million or something.
4 million, and now 20 years later, we're down to less than 2 million. That's how animals go extinct, guys.
Well, yeah, when we grew up with the ABC and the WIBC.
Yeah. And it's not like bowling is going to bring some new flair that kids are into in the year 2033. How many people you think are going to sanction in 2033 when Chad or whoever's atop the podium says, or the mountain says, by the way, your league dues this year are $499, and your reward is going to be a triplicate patch. And if you want a ring, now the ring is $1,000 instead of $79.95. There is no way to change it if you don't change the entire outlook and the way the operation is run.
Right.
So and unfortunately, the leader is the biggest conniving con artist of the entire batch, but his soldiers, obviously atop that list, are just following him. It's disgusting. We need somebody to come in there who was the guy that conquered from the Persian Empire with just a bow and arrow? Who am I thinking of here? Genghis Khan. Right. We need somebody like that to come in and just wipe out Chad's empire. That's the best thing that could happen right now.
What could they possibly think they could have accomplished by trying to cover this up from the beginning? Like, why do you think they went that route?
Because they can.
That's the mentality. That's got to be the mentality because they don't even.
We just see it.
They're sociopaths that have this limited power and they want to flaunt it and basically stomp their feet on whoever may dare talk back.
We just see it on a much more personal level because we're so close. Bowling is such a tight-knit group. Even though it's millions of people, everybody knows each other in the industry. So like it would be, and the example is when I say we have intimate contact with the boss, is what's going on in Vegas right now is we have Formula One racing coming here next year. They have to repave the streets around the Vegas Strip right now in order to make sure the roads they meet speculations for Formula One race car driving. Well, everybody that lives in Vegas right now, we're paying for it. Our taxes have been increased to pay for this $40 million job for F1, and people are pissed about it. The people at the top that made that decision don't give a fuck about the people that are paying it in taxes. They don't care that, we feel so bad about the guy and his wife who, come home with $80,000 or $90,000 a year and they're trying to scratch and then they're making their house payments right on time. But yeah, we're going to take some of their money and make sure they can pay for our road because there's no way it's coming out of our pockets. That's the mentality of USBC.
And they're going to make the money on the freaking investment of the Formula One race going there because that's where it goes to also.
Exactly. So it's and what I mean by that is like we'll never know the head honcho that signed and like his whole team that said, yeah, fuck Vegas residents. They can afford to give us X amount of dollars more to pave the streets of Vegas Boulevard that they don't use for the race that they can't afford to go to. We don't see those guys because it's such a different world. USBC, Chad's right down the block, and it's much closer. So we see it more in our face, and that's, I guess, what's kind of good about what's left of the bowling community, because at least we are intimate enough with Chad that we can all get in his face and say, you won't have any more money to collect if we take it all away from you. And the way bowling is going, it's not like Chad's going to have a reincarnation of 3 or 4 million bowlers that just pop out of nowhere in 2030.
Right.
It's eventually centers are going to keep closing. The prestigious and richly owned centers and well-maintained and groomed centers that offer more than just bowling to its customers will stand afloat. But that's about it. The same way mom and pop places disappear when the big places and the big businesses come in. Like it's the nature of the beast. It's what's happening in bowling. So personally, yeah, that's
the USBC recognizes that. That's why they're putting string pins in the discussion. For league sanctioning rules, and again, there's huge talk about it on the forums. I sent you guys a couple screenshots today. A lot of centers are having to close down, and the ones that are trying to stay afloat are going to go to things like string pins because they don't need to keep mechanics on board. And obviously it's less maintenance. And they are doing a lot of work into trying to get it right so you don't have those wonky, pin reactions happen and all that. But I mean, it's still going to happen. But there's a lot of people that are like, it's evolution. It's the nature of the game. It evolved from wood to synthetic, and plastic balls.
Like that's more of devolving, though, the way that is. Like, I don't think string pins are evolution. I feel like it's like devolve. It's not evolving, it's devolving.
I get that. No, I do get that.
Efficient.
It is.
Guys,
that's what they're trying to do.
You have to at least have some kind of a brain here to like appreciate both sides of every coin, and then you can make the distinction of which one's logical and which one's
that would be critical thinking, and not a lot of people can do that, buddy.
If you are a critical thinker, and even if you're not a critical thinker, here's the comparison: stop thinking about yourself, because nobody in a big business role cares about us anymore.
Right.
This is the way it works. The same way when you go into Walmart or you go into a Smith's or an Acme,
they want millions of us, not just us. Basically,
they don't want to pay somebody $40,000 a year to check groceries anymore, however much those people make. They want you to go to the kiosk and send your food down the conveyor belt, and then they want you to pay for it, and they want you to bag it, and they want you to leave. Because even if you steal $100 in groceries every fucking time you go, you're saving that company so much goddamn money by not having to pay all those employees to check you out.
It's true.
Meanwhile, what happens to all the ants going grocery store shopping? I got a lady with 2 children in the cart, and she's got everything full, and there's 15 people behind her, and there's only 2 kiosks open. They don't fucking care.
They don't.
They're saving all the money on the labor. In the bowling alley, you need to pay a head mechanic a nice chunk of change, and you need to pay an assistant mechanic a nice chunk of change to work the back and operate on machines. You don't have to do that anymore. Even if one of those machines breaks, as long as you got more than 6 lanes and it's down for a day, you could fix the string tomorrow if you need to.
Right.
There's less moving parts. Everything is trying to enable the bigger businesses to make more and to crush the little guys a little bit more and more in every single walk of life. And humans don't matter as much anymore. It's the most disgusting thing in the world to say.
Individually, they don't, but as a populace, we do, because that's what makes it. But
or still the consumers,
we have to be in a huge amount. We have to be in a numerous amount. But
they don't give a shit about the workforce. They give a shit about the consumer.
My close, and my whole point of that entire rant just now, which I'm
and
sorry
you're good.
about my
you're
rockers.
Going good. No, you're good, man. Hit it.
I was saying is that in 50 or 60 years, everybody that still bowls will think about string pins the way that we think about traditional bowling. Because the only centers that are going to be left in 50 or 60 years is what's happening. It's the evolution. It's the future. The same way we transition from wood to synthetic, and we're like, fuck, we don't want to bowl on plastic lanes.
I still don't.
Or the same way we had to transfer from urethane and rubber bowling balls to resin bowl. Oh, fuck, I don't want to learn how to hook the ball.
Hang on, but real quick, was the difference that drastic, though? And I'm really asking because, like, obviously the bowling balls, and I've bitched, not a bitch.
Bro, you got the biggest wiffle bat there is.
that's my point. But that's a scoring issue. But the pins were still the pins. The pins were still the same way. How different will it be? Is the difference that drastic from when they went from wood to synthetic? Yeah, so then you had to like
Sherry has a great point.
The oil or something like that, or the oil drug down rather than built up or burnt up. I don't even know. Maybe that was significant, but is it that significant to what the string pins are going to be, or we don't know yet? Maybe.
We don't know yet. We can't know yet until time tells.
But was there opposition to synthetics when it started, or like the way there is?
No, God, no. Because synthetic lane surfaces were for the benefit and longevity of the lane surface.
Yeah, I mean, you had to resurface the lanes every summer, you had to
every season. Your bowling ball. Your bowling ball when you would bowl on wood, you would get track marks.
Yep.
Plastic bowling lanes save bowling in that respect.
So then, but that's what I'm saying. So like these are things that people weren't. I don't want to say revolting, but like there doesn't seem to be too much in the way of like, oh, great, string pins are coming along. So like I feel like that's where it's a little different.
That's what I'm saying, Och. That's what I'm saying. Is the evolution of the sport is catering towards the future of the sport, which is it's a dying sport.
Right.
We could have all these aspirations for the rest of our lives that we're going to get bowling in the Olympics. We got to try and keep bowling as a recreational, fun thing to do in the United States of America. That's where we've actually gotten.
Well, the thing is, Johnny, it was still the second most.
It's the most recreational sport, or something like
the second highest recreational sport last year.
Yeah, because not a lot of people can afford tennis rackets,
right?
And not a lot of people. You can't get 10, 15 people together to go play football every day in a league-sanctioned event. Bowling centers are easily monitored because they're inside and you have paying customers and you have the true numbers. But I guarantee you a hell of a lot more people could wish that they could go play hockey or go play on a baseball diamond than a bowling alley. And I do get in the respect that it's participatory there. But I've always thought that was such a skewed thing because it's a monitored. It's like do you think if we had curling courts, as many curling courts as we do bowling centers,
I love curling
might be higher up on the participatory sport
reading?
I would do it. Yeah, so would I. I'd make fun of it all the time because I've never seen it. But I would participate in it at least once and add to that tally if there was a curling court up the road from me.
You need to watch it, dude. It's brilliant. It really is.
Watch it. I understand it
it's fantastic. But John Sprone's right. Who wants to pay $12 a game on the weekends? It's fucking price gouging.
And especially if you're a bowler.
Right.
It's bad enough paying for bowling if you're a consistent bowler that's used to not paying for games. But you go there. That's true too.
Like you're going there and you're gonna go practice and bowl 6 games and you're like, I got the
lady
fucking dollars.
the lady next to me who decided that the best outfit to wear to the bowling alley was heels and a high skirt. And she's going to go stand in front of the ball return and take pictures of her 3 kids while they're throwing the shot with the ramp. I'm not bowling next to that for $12 fucking a game.
Right. No, you're absolutely right about that. If it's a level playing field, let's just say every single center goes to string pins. The pros have to bowl it. We all have to bowl it. It's a level playing field for everybody. What's the big deal? I'm just playing devil's advocate.
The big deal is it's different, and people are always afraid of what's different.
Right.
So until you get used to it, everybody has a problem with something until they get used to it. Right. And then you learn why you really don't like it, and then you tell people the real reason, or you have no problem doing it anymore. It's the nature of everybody that walks, right?
True. I know this is a hypothetical, and like I said, they're doing a lot of research to try to make this fair for everybody. If they can come up with a way to where you don't have the wonky leaves or weird reactions or shit like that, like, would you be okay with it? Like, if they perfected the string mechanism or whatever, like lowering the gutters at the end.
If I had to make the choice of never bowling again or bowling on string pins, I would bowl on string pins.
Right.
I love the sport of bowling enough.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't change. I have bowled on string pins. I despise them.
Right.
I've said that I despise, but I am a bowler. I'm a bowler that's like from the bowling era, or at least the tail end of the greatest bowling era that we've ever had.
Yeah.
But I will always go out. I mean, I like playing bocce because it reminds me of bowling.
True.
I like shooting pool because the angles remind me of bowling. I like playing golf because the mental game reminds me of bowling. I'll always bowl, 100%. I'm again, that logical but also like rational thinking is I'm 100% with the older generation that thinks they're fucking absurd. They're disgusting. It's like a carnival game to me.
Right.
But I understand if it's eventually with the way the world is going to be and we don't need human employees anywhere or we strongly desire to ruin so many lives in the process where we don't need humans making money anymore. We want to give it all to less moving part robots. I guess I'm going to have to follow that fucking trend then, right?
Sprone's after my own heart. I was just going to say we need more duck pin and candlestick, centers.
What if they
here.
do string pins for candle pins? Like how great?
Oh, that'd be a fucking mess.
That would be a friggin' nightmare.
I want the shit get all tangled up, and then you leave the dead wood there, man.
The
Holy
one
shit.
great thing about candle pins is you're not going to bowl 150.
Right.
And nobody else is going to bowl 150.
Isn't there like
either.
20 pins
And
too?
if they do, it's the greatest thing ever.
It's still fun to watch for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely a conversation we're going to have to keep talking about because it's going to happen. Like, and reading a lot of comments in the USBC group, there's nothing we can do about it. If Bolero and the other centers in the USBC, the PBA decides they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And like you said, we don't have a fucking choice. It's going to happen. Either
Sherry said in one of her comments earlier, she said, there's just not enough of us.
we're not going to band together and fight it. Right. But that's like everything in this country, pretty much.
True. Yeah.
So
Also, Troy Lint did pop in the chat.
he is here.
Him.
Yes.
I don't know if he saw this, but the reason this is here is, in case anybody missed it, Troy is my pick to win the Senior Masters this year.
I mean, he should be everyone's
And I was
pick.
actually at Sam's Town yesterday, and I wasn't there on Troy's squad. And I didn't watch Troy bowl today. But I'm telling you, that's still my pick to win this week. So go get him, bro.
Yeah, kick-ass Troy. All right, let's move on to... do you have anything else before we move on to the next subject? Is that kind of put a fucking...
I could talk about that all day.
Okay, that's fair.
You just asked me questions tonight. And I'll just go
Let
through them.
E-Rad take the charge. And
Well,
you
I
just
mean,
fill it in.
I am the host and just trying to move the show along here since we're a half hour
Patty
in.
B's. Patty B.
Oh, wrong button. Okay. Shut the fuck up.
Sound like an elephant.
It's now time for the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Ocho, I'm going to start with you since you never have anything to bring to this category. What do you have for your good this week?
Nothing. Just get me.
You fucking suck. It's a running joke, Johnny. He did this to me on the previous show that we did that had this segment and hardly ever brought anything to the table unless it was something about baseball or the Steelers or something he can recall from 35 years ago.
Oh, I can recall anything from 35 years ago. That's not the problem.
Just not this week.
Just don't feel it. It's stupid.
Listen, I totally understand.
I have nothing good, bad, or
Understood.
ugly about me.
This is episode 76 or whatever it is. I understand.
Yeah, and then go back another freaking 100 and something prior to that. Like, I got it. Like, good, bad, or ugly. Christ.
I mean, you still live every day. Something still has to happen to you, whether it's good, bad, or ugly.
Everything is good for me. I'm Ocho, for Christ's sakes. How am I supposed to come up with bad and ugly? Are you
sake.
kidding me?
All right,
Give me
Johnny.
another scotch, for God's sake.
Johnny, what do you got for your good?
He knows.
For my good? Oh, shit.
That's usually what we start with.
It's not just
My good is Rochelle had a birthday a couple days ago.
Happy birthday, Rochelle.
Happy 30th, Rochelle.
Still look great.
That was lovely. So I got to enjoy that with her. Other than that, my good is I fanboyed a little bit yesterday, and you guys know I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday. I went down to Sam's Town in the morning to go watch one of the squads bowl, A Squad, their opening block. And I got up and ready in the morning. They started at 8 a.m. Sam's Town's a 35-minute drive from my house. So I got up, I had my coffee, I did my shit that I do in the morning. And
Dude, when I was there, you were an early riser, man. We were up at 5 every day. You kidding me?
Oh, I am.
We were ready to go. That's what I'm saying. You got plenty of time to get your shit going.
Well, you know what happens is I usually train at 8 p.m., so my last meal is at 10:15 p.m.
Okay.
And then I try and stay awake until about 11:15.
Yeah, so you digest. You're not wanting cortisol. I get you.
Right. The eyes close, and they're up at 5:15 every single day. It's been like that for 4
Something
years.
about it out there. I can't explain it, and I was only there for a week. Go ahead.
But the good part about it was, I went there with my full coffee thermos, and I went there. I'm like, not going to play any fucking machines. I'm not going to have any 8 a.m. tequila shots. I'm just going to go downstairs and watch bowling.
Good swing.
Then I got to watch Dino Castillo, the defending champion, just maul him over, average 250 the first day, using an NV Tour and something else. That was awesome to watch. Got to see Jason Couch out of the gates with a 279. Buddy Todd Adams that I used to bowl or used to work with at Bowler's Mart. He was bowling. Ran into a couple friends. Saw Chris Barnes and Mika. So it was nice to go and fanboy, because I haven't fanboyed at a PBA event in quite some time.
That's pretty cool. No, it's
actually, and that makes sense too, because that's your fandom area too. Right. That's when you were, 20 years ago, you're like, holy shit, look at these guys on TV, man.
Totally.
Damn. You're 15 looking at these guys now. You know what I mean?
Especially Jason Couch, man.
I actually said something funny, and this is crazy. So
that's funny.
Anybody that's older than me will definitely get this, because I'm assuming you've experienced it at some point in your life. I'm sitting in the crowd yesterday, and I'm watching. And I'm just looking around, 5, 6, 7 different pairs. And I'm sitting next to this guy who I've known for a while, forgot his name. And I look at him and I go, oh no, it was Chad Lush, Chad Lush, another good bowler. He was behind the old guy.
He's Nuke Lelouch's brother.
Behind the guy that I didn't remember. And because Chad, I think, is around I think Chad's around my age. But I said to Chad, I said, you know how I know I'm getting older, Chad? Because I'm looking around and the guys bowling don't look that old to me anymore. Like, there were guys out on the lanes. I'm like, this motherfucker looks like he's my age.
They were so adulty then.
I remember watching these guys and thinking they were going to fall down at the foul line.
These guys are such adults, and now we're the same.
The most athletic senior player I remember was like John Handegard, and he looked as stiff as.
Oh my god, he had a kyphotic curve. Like, the guy was hunched over like this, and his shoulders were up over his head. And
I'm looking at him. I'm like, man, I look like them. What the fuck?
That's called a gibbous deformity, by the way. Look up John Handegard. I guarantee you.
No, that's true.
Deformity.
No, you're absolutely right.
Did he win like an actual PBA title though? Like at 90? All right, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but like
he won in Kennewick, Washington in 1995, and at the age of
maybe he looked older
57. Yeah, that's what I mean, dude.
He looks 75.
That makes perfect sense, because like Parker is that age, and now
Parker is like 60. What? Parker's 60, isn't he?
Yes.
He's a year younger than John L. 59.
That's what I mean. And like, I look at Parker, I'm like, hey, Parker looks like he's maybe 10 years older than me, maybe. Yeah. God.
I mean, look, hey, you know what? And give that to maybe bowling is a bit of a sport, because these guys are watching their weight. There's nutrition involved. Like, they're not letting themselves go. And you know what I mean? Like, so let that part be a little bit of it.
Let me explain that to you real quick. And you're the doctor, so you'll obviously get this.
Of course.
The guys that make it the longest out there, with the exception of a few anomalies, there are a few anomalies, are the guys who have always taken care of themselves.
You have to.
Parker Bone III doesn't drink alcohol, has never drank alcohol.
Not a sip.
If you never had alcohol in your life, you'll look like Parker when you're 65.
Right.
I promise you, you will.
Well, that's why Earl Anthony looked 75 when he was like 42.
Right. Amleto Monticelli is another one. Amleto Monticelli is going to look like he's 50 when he's 100.
That dude plays soccer like every day of his life or something like that.
And does every form of physical activity that he possibly can every day of his life. Walter Ray Williams Jr. Walter Ray's never had a fraction of his stomach fall over the front of his belt for as long as I've known Walter Ray.
Yep.
And he's just in fantastic physical shape.
Didn't he not know who Michael Jordan was,
the defending champion.
Didn't he not know who Michael Jordan was, though?
Dude, most brilliant, eccentric people are.
That's what I mean. No, it's not a knock, because there's guys.
No, it's 100%.
There's engineers that literally go to work and they can figure out like molecular structures and freaking the most amazing apparatus for growth of commerce and everything, and they can't get home. They got to have a driver take them home, because they can't figure out another way to get. They don't have the small thinking mentality, which is crazy.
True.
Right. 100%.
And it was I just remember you telling me, it's kind of a dick.
They'll answer questions about fucking 12th century literature about authors I've never.
Yeah, no, it's really like, oh yes, I remember the Ottoman Empire, how they overtook.
This Cincinnati team calls itself based off of a color, and they're like, what are the blues?
Green?
What are the blues?
It's
like Celebrity Jeopardy with foods that end in amber.
I'm gonna go talk to you for sporting knowledge before I go talk to.
No, but then they're like, well, Rommel the Desert Fox in World War II had this catastrophic loss, and that's when we came the Iwo Jima. Like, you're gonna fucking. I get it.
That's hilarious.
I get it.
That's hilarious.
But really, that's the key. Just like any other sport, I mean, to be the best, you have to be in the best shape. And typically, the guys that stay away from the demons are the guys that are out there the longest. And then there's
which they knew at a young age too, though. That's the other thing. But I mean, think about it. Like these guys also survived the test of time. Where like knowing that look at Norm Duke. God damn, if there ain't a guy that don't look the same, besides a little more thinning hair, they really are the same damn weight.
Damn right.
That's crazy. I wrestled 103 in high school. I'm about 303 right now. Mm-hmm. In a good way.
Good.
Speaking of good. My good. I feel
going. This is bullshit.
I feel accomplished today. I was gonna put this in the bad, but my riding lawnmower broke, and I've had several people come out and try to fix it. Right.
Well, you shouldn't have taken it to freaking Arby's and hit them freaking rock piles. That's the problem. The blades are gonna get stuck.
So I had a guy come out and replace the carburetor because that's what everybody agreed was the issue. And today started up fine. I got the back mode behind the fence and all that. You couldn't
replace your own carburetor on your damn lawnmower?
Came around to the front, filled it up with fuel, and it wouldn't start. And I've had this problem for about 2 months now, and it's just been fucking infuriating. So, me, being the professional that I am, tipped the whole fucking thing over. Just picked it up. Fucking Hulk Hogan did and just tipped it upside down. I'm so fucking tired. I'm gonna get a new mower because I'm fucking tired.
This wasn't an attempt to fix it. This was an attempt to just be pissed off.
Fuck off. Yeah, fuck it and just flip the goddamn thing over.
And you probably fixed it somehow.
I didn't try to start it. It might start actually after all that.
Yeah, you probably got the fuel injector clicked back there or something.
So I got the push mower out, and my fucking lawn is huge, and it was like 95 degrees today, and as you know, I'm a large guy, so it was pretty fucking bad. But I got it done, so I feel accomplished, even though my back's fucking killing me. I got a bad knee.
And you walked back and forth a bunch of times, as if you were going on a line of Great Adventure, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. Covered the same. I walked 3 miles, just covering one fucking yard. But I got it done, and I started. Well, I don't want to say I started dieting on Monday, but I started eating healthier. My wife.
Did you say dying or dieting?
My wife is doing weight.
Go hand in hand.
My wife is doing Weight Watchers. I'm just doing healthier.
Like sheep's wool.
Hey, the bear's here. What's up, bear? Fucking Taryn. Anyway, I don't want to get distracted here. Anyway, yes, fucking sucked, but I got it done, so I feel super accomplished today for doing that.
Are you gonna fix the lawnmower or
I'm just gonna buy a new one? Fuck it.
Because if the carburetor is that means it's
a 2003 Craftsman, bro. It's like it's fucking had its.
But the only thing that could be wrong is the carburetor. The floats stay open. That's the only thing that really could have been wrong with it.
You could be speaking German to me right now, and I'd understand.
It's not German. There's floats that stay open, and they're just supposed to close and open as fuel goes in. And if they're gummed up, they just stay open. Like if you had an overflow hose, it would just pour out.
The positive axis point is not relative to the vertical axis line at less than 35 degrees. There's absolutely no way the back angle should be 65 degrees in turn with a P3 denominational hole at 31/32, 2.5 inches deep.
He's not lying.
No, he's right.
That's what I think. I'm speaking for me and Rob when I say, like, I'm looking at Roger trying to say that it's the part that feeds. Like I know nothing about cars, so I'm legitimately trying
it's not a car. So we'll just say. I mean,
it's a fucking. It's a small
now. I understand now when I'm on the other side of the counter drilling somebody a bowling ball. When I'm like, well, if your back angle is too wide, we want to make sure the flare goes up. You know, we want to increase.
Back in the day,
they got to sit there and they got to be like, yeah, I guess.
When we had hand-me-down motorcycles, the carb would gum up. You'd freaking run gasoline right through it, and it would unstick the carburetor. The float wouldn't stick, and then you'd go out and ride.
That's what we want to know.
The float is what
we don't know what the float is.
The float deals with. All right, it opens and closes as fuel comes in and out. So if you get jelly in there. If the gel gets in there, it gets gummed up with sludge, it stays open. You don't want it to stay open because then it's like pissing yourself nonstop. And then you need something to hold it back open.
I love Roger.
So as soon as you hold it closed, like you're squeezing, you're kegling.
So it's like a mud flap.
Basically. Only it's controllable and it's supposed to stay up, not down.
I bet you've seen a lot of chicks out there in Vegas with mud flaps.
On a plane wing.
It's like your epiglottis that
like
goes
the thing when you're on the plane and the wing it goes.
Not really, like but it's like when you swallow food, your epiglottis covers your trachea so it doesn't go down there, and it goes down your esophagus.
I know what those are. Okay, good.
When in Rome. I'm not quite sure what that means.
Ocho, what's your bad?
Yeah.
Johnny?
So I was just in a shit mood earlier. So
You're welcome. You're welcome, damn it.
And I kind of opened it by saying that bowling is a dying sport, no matter how much we try and believe that it's not, or like pretend that it's not. And one of the biggest things about it is I was thinking about this. I was trying to think about this again from the logical perspective, along with just voicing my own fucking opinion. But here's the thing. The separation of the elite to the people that do not want to be elite is so drastically big that anybody that's in the middle is stuck. And what I mean by that is, like, when I opened the company with David, with Preston Wilson, called Beyond the Line, our main objective was to introduce the more scientific approach of training bowlers how to bowl, similar to Kegel, with less of the equipment. We put together $15,000 and we bought Specto Go. Specto Go is a monitoring system that tells you everything you need to know. Basically, everything you see with the Digitrax, it's on TV, all of that is basically Specto's information. It gives you launch angle, it gives you entry angle, it gives you breakpoint board, it measures and monitors all of that shit. And the whole idea and design behind it is to make you better. It's to make you understand lane play. It's to make you understand where your inconsistencies are. You can do all this crazy shit with Specto. Specto's a $15,000 machine. And I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, where there's 10 fucking bowling alleys within a span of a 20-mile radius. And I'm telling people they can come practice for 1 hour on Specto and take all of their shit and their data on their smartphone and all this other shit, and it's going to cost you $20 for the hour. Do you know how many people show up once a week for the 8 hours that I had that shit set up? Maybe 10, maybe.
Oh my God! I'm picturing a golf simulator at Dick's, and people are lined up out of it, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Now, here's the thing about that. They're lined up at that golf simulator. People line up for tee times when the weather gets beautiful. And of the millions upon millions of people that play golf, how many of them do you really think aspire?
Oh, no, to be golfer? But spend the money too. No, that's the other thing.
They spend the money, right? That's where our problem is
wow.
Not only do we not have enough money for you to support yourself, let alone your family at the pinnacle level, there's no fucking incentive for you to even go out and enjoy yourself because the cost is just not fucking worth it, right?
Right.
And people are not willing to take the plunge into the world of professional bowling if they're not even willing to go and use a Specto to teach themselves how to bowl. They're not willing to pay somebody $50 for an hour on lane lesson, but they'll go to Dick's or they'll go to the PGA Tour Superstore and they'll sign up that $699 3-hour special with the House Pro at the PGA Tour Superstore so they can take 4 fucking strokes off of their score. La-di-da-di-da-di-da.
And the 90 day
sale,
you
with
can return
no
your
chance.
Clubs, and man, oh man,
And
that is
still
so
with no
fucking
chance
true. So
to get to the pinnacle level.
That's true.
The same thing happened 20 years ago when they decided to introduce sport bowling. Now you're going to separate and we're going to make the best bowlers are really going to be seen now because they're going to be the ones that are on top every week because now we have the most challenging patterns in the world. And you at home can fucking figure out how good you are too. How long did it take for South fucking sports shot leagues to be ditched to the curb?
Yep.
As quick as a $2 whore. It gone completely out of the window. Nobody fucking bowls them. There's a scratch singles league here. It's the best league in Nevada for scratch bowling. It's got 50 people for the summer. But that's also run by people that give a shit about bowling. So,
right.
But what I mean by that is there is such a spread between the greats that are in there figuring out a way to make ends meet. And what I mean by that is like 10 guys, because that's about how many guys are making ends meet out there. And then you have everybody else that doesn't have the balls, the will, the incentive, or any other measure to even try and get to that level. So why the hell are you going to? So when I see people, myself included, trying to offer shit like Specto and the Kegel Training Center and this and that, the Kegel Training Center is wonderful because the very tiny, small percentage of people that still want to be professional bowlers, they can go there. The ladies tour is building significantly. They can go to the Kegel Training Center. That's fucking great. They will take care of the surviving bowlers left that still want to bowl. But I can't stand to sit back and pretend like it's a good thing that we're trying to push all this different shit when all we're really doing is what's happening in the rest of the world. We're slowly dissolving something that we all love at the benefit of the people making money at the top, and it's all fucking gone. And it's only a matter of time before it's all gone. So I found it kind of funny that we'll all go spend all that money to go play golf and do all this other shit with no aspirations of getting to the top. But could you imagine right now if they said to you, guys, if you go out and play 10 local golf tournaments this year and you place in the top 10 in half of them, you get your PGA Tour card for a year? You know how many days a week I would be down at the range hitting golf balls?
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
I'd be doing 2 a day.
There's incentive.
Yep.
You take away a little bit of the money or all of the money at the amateur level, and then you give it all to the professional peak if you really want to make it a sport like baseball. Or you make it a sport that gives money to the fucking best.
Well, and there's more to disperse too in golf, which is why they'd even be able to do that. That's the other problem with bowling. We kind of touched about that as far as in a different way about why the best guys are the best, because they hunkered down to do it no matter what, and they paid those money. They paid those extra dollars. They got the swing coach, the release coach, whatever. I don't know what coaches there are in bowling, but the commitment was like full on, and it was like sink or swim. And there's guys that are iffy and like, well, if I don't want to do this because if I don't, then I might lose this. And so I almost wonder if it's like you had the guys that either had to freaking sink or swim or had another option. Well, actually, that's not true, because didn't EJ Tackett just get his degree in something, or am I making that up?
Well, I don't know him. I hope he did. That'd be great.
Somebody just did. I swear. I just heard about it. I thought you guys told me.
And that's kudos to the guys that are out there now, because most of the guys that are out on tour right now, the tour, from my vantage point and from my discussions with former tour players, the tour is nothing like what the tour used to be.
It's not a tour, really.
It's not fun anymore.
Right.
Like, in other words, what made the tour fun was the camaraderie, was the hanging out with the fans, was the singing with Wayne Webb and the karaoke in the bowling alley bars. It was doing the celebrity pro-ams and the junior pro-ams at a time that it was suitable for families to be there.
And they had bowling alleys to go to. They had, 20-something, 30-something bowling alleys.
In cities where they wanted to see professional bowlers. And the greatest thing is the bowlers all hung out together. Each year that progresses, the bowlers, although they are getting smarter and healthier and more committed to their crafts, they are getting less available to the public. What made bowling so great, with especially guys like Duke and Parker and my dad,
availability
and intimacy. Because you knew, holy shit, dude, I got done watching Brian Voss lead and win the Kokomo Classic, and then he sat in the bar and he had a couple shots with me and asked me if I wanted to go to fucking club and celebrate a little bit with him and the guys afterwards. He was so down to earth. We do the same thing when we fucking fanboy.
Parker had the pro shop at Howell Lanes, and I'm like, this guy just won Player of the Year, and he's drilling a bowling ball.
Can I add something to that, Johnny? Like, that's just the current generation. I mean, you can make the same, right? Because like wrestlers, all like they said, business is always done in the bars. After they get done wrestling, they all go hang out in the bars. They get shit-faced. They take women home. Boom, boom, boom. Now the wrestlers are playing video games. They're doing other shit. They're not as active. They're not as social.
Going to the bar and getting shit-faced, but the camaraderie was the issue. Like,
right. It wasn't, I'm done bowling. I got to pack up my shit. I have to get back to my room. I have to go through all my notes of every shot that I recorded while I bowled today. Right. I have to sit in my room and eat.
They turned it off a little bit, at least, for the end of the night.
They've turned it off. Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
And the guys that are in, quote unquote, the house are the guys that figured out a way to keep some of the tour intimacy amongst themselves while also staying logical enough to like not get shit-faced for the next day.
Right. Instead of being robotic. And
but from the fans' perspective, how boring is it to go watch bowling now?
Right.
The senior tour is so much more fucking exciting because I get to watch M. Leto and Couch run him out. I get to watch Tom Hess clap him out. I get to watch P. Weber get mad at shadows. I get to watch Walter A. Williams Jr. still wearing a fucking mask. I get to watch anybody do anything they want, and they all have at least some fucking personality.
True.
And
Walter Ray still goes every once in a while. He still has the growl when he slaps out of 10.
But it's like you're right, Rob. The generation now, they're so bloody boring. They're so boring.
They really are, and it's unfortunate. They've taken fun out of everything.
So how much of it is that, and how much of it is are they even like, because now they're the cream of the crop, and they're like, well, we got to carry this thing. I'm not saying like, because the whole thing is different, and so I'm maybe mixing apples and oranges here a little bit, but the top guys are now the top guys of bowling, and we all know it's dying, and they know it's dying, and is it almost like, well, what do I do? You know, what do I do I don't want to screw it up. Is there a way I could screw it up?
Man, that's always the case that happens with bowlers. Right. That's why guys like Simo are such anomalies. They earn their money young and they spend their money wisely when they're young.
Yeah.
It's what the smart guys do. And then you have the other guys who live on cloud nine for 4, 5, 6 years. They make more money than they've ever dreamed to make it in 1 year. And they don't know what it's like to have that lifestyle. I guarantee you guys right now, if I went out on tour and made $200,000 in a year, you know how fucking long it would have taken me to lose it?
Couple months.
Yeah. A month, maybe. But I guarantee you, if you give Simo $200,000 or Parker Bone $200,000 or somebody that's fucking smart with money $200,000, they'll figure out a way to make that $200,000 make another $100,000 for them. True. While they're still going out managing their season. And
now, you don't know if they messed up originally though too. So if you got $200,000, yeah, you might lose it the first time, but then you're out on tour again, and then you're going like, man, I shouldn't do that. I'm going to actually grow up this time. So you don't know if there was a learning curve for them. I'm not, maybe you do know. That's maybe you do know.
A little bit of, what am I doing there? I may be
speculating a little bit. No, but it's almost like self-deprecating, but in a way, it's like, you know what your personality is because you haven't been there. And I don't mean like you haven't been there. That's not right either.
Totally.
But like, if the opportunity presented itself, because also you weren't just given $200,000. You worked and you earned it. You know what I mean? Like, you did something to achieve it, which also might change your mind a little bit and go, man, that took an awful lot of my freaking dedication to earn that $200,000. Let's spend 80 of it. I don't know. It could be. But
it could very well.
If I'm handed $200,000, I got money on every damn game for the next freaking year. Right. No, I don't. That'll last a month too. I get it. I totally get it. If I earned it, I'm gonna spend about $50,000 on some gambling. You know, that's what I mean.
Totally. To answer Scott's, not really a question here, but I love the fact that Belmo is pushing the limit with his post because honestly, again, kind of what this entire evening has developed into trended into was I'm basically projecting the demise and fall of bowling at this point.
Right.
So this isn't anything new either, though. Because honestly, this has been a discussion for the last 10 years also.
And really, I think it's safe to say anybody with a brain, or at least that part of
who's paid attention to it, really.
Yeah, like Belmo, who's paid attention to it.
Yep.
Belmo can push the envelope all he wants. What's the USBC going to say to Belmo? You are officially banned from anything USBC related. Belmo will go to Australia and start his own fucking tour the same way Liv did.
Yeah.
And then eventually the PBA will have to
merge with it because he's going to have just a successful tour.
Right.
Belmo don't give a fuck if the USBC don't like him. Belmo's not even from here. Belmo bowls here and created what's left of the fucking game in the last 20 minutes.
Or what's the future of it?
If the USBC wants to shit on Belmo for anything he has to say, that's literally putting a dagger into their own chest because that's their golden boy. Yeah, and he's a classy golden boy. He's not an asshole. And if you got one of the classiest professionals to ever step in the limelight, borderline talking shit about the governing body of the sport that's putting food on your table, you're doing something wrong, man.
How long have you been on tour?
USBC. 2008 was his first official season out here.
Yeah.
So he's only on,
long time.
If my math is correct, 4 years.
Yep.
All right, wait, I'm a little off.
Close to that. You're close.
Very, very good.
No, but I mean, like in what is it? I mean, we're only talking 22 years, right? 23 years then, or 22. So, like,
isn't it 15?
Oh, what am I saying? Yeah, no. It's
what are you doing?
Hold on, you're screwing me up now.
I'm screwing you up.
Yes.
2008 was 9
12
years ago.
plus, 12 is 15 years. So think about this. Has anybody ever been the best bowler in the world or the best bowler of all time in a 15-year period? Or what they called him that 3-4 years ago.
Walter Ray Williams Jr.
in
Pretty much,
the same time period? I'm asking. I'm really asking.
Like during Belmo or
No. What I'm saying is
Walter Ray's been the best bowler in the world. Was
Yes.
the best bowler.
that's
in
what
the
I mean.
world
But it took him longer than 15 years to do it, didn't it?
No, Walter Ray
he was good from the
the
start.
bowler of the decade in the 90s. He was a player of the year in 1986. And Walter Ray won 33 PBA titles from 1993 until 2005. So
That's
he
38
won
years. So
shit. Yes. You sound like Beetlejuice right now. Beetlejuice, if I dig a 6-foot hole, how deep is the hole? About 20
Me?
feet.
me.
Yeah, you.
Me?
You're
No,
math right now.
that's what Beetlejuice used to say.
Beetlejuice 2 is coming out next
How did you miss
September
it?
of next year.
And he's
Me?
talking about Michael Keaton.
Me? Oh, he's such an idiot.
What comes between 2 and 4? 36.
All right, so then I get okay. Then that really is okay. I honestly didn't know. So why did he suck so bad in like 83 and 84 then?
He wasn't
Walter
around
Ray.
then. Dude.
It's
Oh,
not that he
never mind.
sucks.
He's
I mean,
not that old.
But I again, and
No, that's where I was going at. Like but still. So okay, so there's one other person in the history of bowling that in a certain time frame became the best. I don't want to say the best bowler. What I mean is the best bowler ever, because that's what we've anointed him, right?
Mark
Like,
Roth.
same thing in like the same time.
Mark
frame?
Roth from 1970.
But Mark Roth isn't the
1976
best
to
bowler ever, though,
1985,
right?
But he's one of them.
Right. Well, what did he want to be? Number 5 or something like that? I forget.
Yeah. I mean, Earl Anthony won 40 titles in 10 years. I mean,
That's the one guy that I remember, because he only had a quick moment there, I thought, right? Like he didn't bowl for that many years, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
Something
he did.
happened.
He kind of, his last win was at the Iowa Foresters Open in 1995, but it was his only win since 1987. So from the period of like the late 70s to the late 80s, Mark Roth was untouchable. It was either him or Marshall Holman or Wayne Webb virtually every single week.
And then Marshall went on.
Leto showed up in 1989 and wins Player of the Year back to back.
No, but Earl Anthony also didn't. Earl Anthony only bowl like 10 years or something like that, and he just stopped abruptly or something like it was. I don't know.
He became a pro at like age 40.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, he was older or something.
or
He
age
just
30, 35 or
He
whatever.
decided to go out on tour for the fuck of it, and then like won 40 something titles or 41.
Can you imagine what would have happened if he started
for the title 80?
Yeah,
80.
With what we did agree on is the worst bowling stroke or throw ever, and
yeah,
No, it's not the worst. It's just fucking hideous to look at.
right.
To me, everybody's like, "Oh, Earl Pearl was so smooth." So I'm like, no,
it's
guys,
got 2 revs,
I
but
think
I'm telling
he
you,
looks like if he walked into my league on Tuesday, he'd average 170.
here's the issue. I'm going to call this right now. If Mike Val doesn't miss Ocho, because he shoots at Ocho every day. So if Earl Anthony, if they tested his bowling balls, they're 70 pounds. I guarantee it. That and Brett Favre, guaranteed through football games. Guaranteed he was a gambler. He already stole from that freaking fund. Those are my 2 issues I'm going with. Walter Ray, what's his ass? Earl Anthony threw 80-pound bowling balls, and Brett Favre is a freaking fixer of games.
I like it.
That's my good, bad, and ugly. How do you like that, motherfuckers?
I'm looking at what Russell and Mark just wrote. Man, if we could find a match between Ron Williams and Scott Devers, I don't really know if there's anything less enjoyable that we could possibly put on.
True. That's true.
Candlepin bowling.
No, that's at least you don't know what's going to happen when the ball hits the pins from shot.
Can we turn into a candlepin ball?
Is a snowplow like a good thing? Earl hits the ball.
No, it is a good thing.
Earl's ball hits. That's what I'm saying. It looks
nice. That's what he's saying. He said, like, your 70-pound reference. His ball went through
the ball has
his ball
2
rolled
revs.
very, very heavy. Not as good as Emmett shoots, but
His freaking his elbow. It looks like he's got freaking gun stock deformity because his elbow stays bent like this. Like
he just strokes it, dude. It was all him.
He looks like he pushes it. He looks like he pushes it like he's throwing a skee ball.
It did look like skee ball.
Exactly.
I can see if I
That's a
can see the
great
finger
point.
revs, and you hear like woo, woo.
like if I bend down any lower, I may not be able to get up. So I'm just gonna no, you guys go ahead.
Now, there's Bocce right there. Looks like he's throwing Bocce.
That's a great
And he's
comparison.
JD says Mats Carlson and Don Janello. This is great. We should do that one week.
We should.
have a contest. Who can select the ugliest match to watch between two
I
competitors?
love Mats Carlson.
I'm definitely putting Mats Carlson and Don Janello in the running. I love Ron Williams versus Scott Devers. That's another hideous
Isn't
one.
Don Janello the guy from?
I love
Mike Tyson's
Earl
Punch-Out?
versus Mike Scroggins. That's great.
Isn't Don Janello the guy with the rose in his mouth from Mike Tyson's Punch Out that does that swing and then you just kind of keep hitting him?
Yeah, he
In
wore the
Nintendo?
brown pants. Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Shit, Don Flamenco. That's his name. Oh shit,
Don Flamenco.
Don Flamenco. I knew it. I was close.
Hugh Miller versus Chris Hayden. That's another hideous one for me. Just because JD just put Hugh. All right. Do we have? That was my bad. That was your bad. He didn't have.
We're
anything.
all bad right now.
We're all
Yeah,
good. What's
bad.
next?
I was going to get to my ugly, but
Do we really need to?
Well,
Is it about fast food?
It's pretty simple. It's the Boston Red Sox. They're the worst.
all right.
They're right up there with the worst team in fucking baseball.
Shouldn't the ugly be the Iron Sheik passing away today or something like that?
That's pretty ugly.
That is sad, actually. Yeah,
The Mets got a $300 million payroll, and we're fucking not even a 500 ball club.
true.
Oh, that's true. You got an
But
all
at least we got rid of DeGrom before he had Tommy John.
That's a good point.
Yeah, he'll be back in 2028.
It's rebuilding year.
And he'll make $85 million that year too.
He got a $185 million contract. That's so great. And bowlers can't make 30 grand a
Time
year.
for everybody's favorite segment.
If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Here's the Imbecile of the Week.
Some people are really stupid.
This week's Imbecile of the Week is brought to you by Fuck It All. When you just don't give a damn anymore, take a Fuck It All.
Actually, it's also brought by, do you know where my pen is?
This comes from the USBC Bowler Discussion Forum. James Wright posted, just curious, who was the first person to shoot 300 sanctioned bowling one-handed with the thumb and then two-handed thumbless? That's a pretty good post, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, well, apparently Brian Olsen didn't think so, or Garland Myers. Brian says, who gives a shit? And Garland backed it up and said, exactly. So this week's Imbeciles of the Week are Brian Olsen and Garland Myers. Johnny, you're a real personable guy. You pretty much get along with everybody. You try not to make any waves, but you do have a temper. It does take a lot to get you pissed off, but you try to stay even keel. You try to... I don't want to say be Mr. Popularity, but, you toe the line for certain things. I can't imagine you would ever go on a post and just say, who gives a shit? What is wrong with these fucking dipshit cocksucking trolls that want to go on these posts when someone's asking a legitimate question, just like we saw last week, and just be a douchebag and say, who gives a shit?
I mean, you're right, Rob. I know what it's like to be shit on at some point in your life, and I'm sure everybody does to some extent. Somebody's experienced at some point in their life somebody making them feel a certain way about themselves. You could sit here and say to me all day that I don't give a fuck what anybody says about me or this and that. Blah. Sometimes things are said that can fuel you, and you're fueled by your reaction or your hurt to what's being said, right? So I always made sure throughout my life that I always made everybody around me happy and comfortable, because I think it's comforting to most people to know that from the minute they meet somebody, they can confide in somebody and have no problem saying or doing whatever they want. And my first repercussion to what they have to say is going to be one of interest or willingness to learn about what they're speaking about. Always. And when you say I toe the line, and it takes a lot, like, for instance, obviously, if anybody ever tried to cause physical harm to my family, that's one thing, the problem. If anybody tried to kill my dog, I really do think that I might John Wick him. But other than that, I mean, aside from forcing me to a spot that I would actually have to fight you back, I don't really have a problem with anybody. Unless people deliberately go out of their way to make somebody else feel bad, especially on a public forum. Hiding behind a keyboard to go out of your way to shit on somebody else for whatever the reason is not only demeaning, it's just a disgusting human trait. And it seems so much more evident nowadays because everybody has an outlet to use it and everybody sees it a lot more.
Right.
People were assholes in the 80s and the 90s, but we didn't see it or hear about it as much.
There's a little more accountability, too, because you have to say it in front
to
of
their
somebody,
face.
And then you get
like when somebody was an asshole in high school or we thought somebody was weird in high school, we didn't necessarily go pick on him. We just stayed the fuck away from him.
Right.
Like, I don't know what's up with that kid. He's fucking weird. I don't care if he likes to whatever the fuck he wants to do on his own, but I'm not going to associate with him because I have nothing in common with him.
Who I don't want to kill anymore.
Right.
Johnny Petraglia.
Yeah. But I would never, ever, ever go out of my way to make a person feel shitty, especially when they're just trying to either be someone involved or learn something. It's ugly. That's the kind of shit that if I witness somebody doing it to somebody else in a bar, or like anywhere else, I will get up and I will intervene.
Yeah.
It's probably my worst quality. I will go help the guy who's getting shit on.
I would say that's one of your best qualities, Johnny. I wouldn't think of that as a negative. That's
not a bad, I know what I think. It's not a bad quality. It's the repercussions that even may come from that of just like you don't even know what would happen.
True.
You'd be there to defend, given who knows what may happen.
You could get sucker punched or stabbed or shot or
anything. You get arrested. You get freaking, you get a record just for like, well, look, the dude was getting picked on. So, but still,
it's the right thing to do, though. And like for somebody to just go on a random post when somebody's asking a legitimate question and be like, who gives a fuck? Like, what do you get out of that other than just you get your kicks being a fucking douchebag? Like it's typical bully.
One of the things said, if you don't like it, just scroll on by.
Exactly.
They couldn't.
Here's
a lot of people can't help themselves.
People do this on the Bowl TV forum. When you guys are on Bowl TV, I don't know what kind of screen you or the viewers are looking at right now, but right now we have us pictured right here, and off to the side over here is the scroll of the comments going by. Now, obviously, when you're watching Bowl TV, those scrolls go way faster. There's a lot more viewers. There's a lot more people chiming in, either whether it's answering a question or whatever it is. And oh shit! Am I cutting into something? I'll make this quick, Rob.
No, you're fine. No.
I said we'll get there. We'll get more people tuning in, scrolling faster. That was a joke.
So like it'll say like Eric says Bill O'Neill on the front six on lane 41 and 2, and then Larry Hwang will be like, hi from Hawaii, or this guy will say hello from Georgia. This person will pop in and say, what lane is Jason Belmonte on? Does anybody know? And the first fucking 5 people, guys, look at me. I'm like fucking fuming right now.
If you were here, you'd know.
5 things you see in the chat is click on the trophy in the corner. Scroll back. Somebody said it earlier. Were you not here earlier? Did you not see this? It's in the chat. Like,
or who gives a fuck? He's a two-handed piece of shit.
I'm going to scroll back an hour's worth.
Right. You can't just fucking type 52. You'd rather go take 10 fucking seconds.
That's what I'm saying.
Tell this person to go look at the goddamn lane assignments tab under the trophy. Go fucking kill yourself.
Saying lane 52 takes 1 second. Saying lane 52 takes 1 second, but if they type out, why don't you go scroll back? That takes freaking 8 seconds.
Exactly. They're going out of their way to make somebody look and feel embarrassed in a public forum when all they want to do is know what lane their favorite bowler's on, and they happen to just fucking get there. Jesus Christ, people, open your fucking eyes. You are the fucking
now.
Those are the people that are the problem. Those are the fucking people that are the problem.
And I see it in Facebook groups too, like just random groups. Like somebody asked, like, I like the show Bering Sea Gold. So certain people go on there and post, when's season fucking 14 coming up? And you'll have 50 assholes saying, go back and check the fucking previous post, because there's like a fucking 100 of them. And they get pissed off because people ask the same question. They could be new members and just don't feel like fucking going through all that. And they're legit asking a question because they want to know, and they can't find it on Google, and maybe somebody else will know. Because there's people in the show that are in that group too, that are part of the show, that could just tell them. Right. And you're right, Johnny. There's just so many fucking assholes that we'll give this poor person shit because they asked a repeat question. It's disgusting.
I'm going to start joining these clubs, and I'm going to ask these unassuming questions, and whoever gives me that smart ass shit, we're looking them up, and we're going to friggin' rain on them.
I like that. That's a good idea.
That is a good idea.
We should do that.
We should do that.
I'm going to knock on their door and be like, hey, you didn't know I was the guy with the mask, did you? You didn't know I was the guy with the mask, did you? Did you happen to say, why don't you go look at yourself instead of just saying Channel 4? Was that you? techrecce@gmail.com?
Oh, when the celebrities read the tweets?
I don't know. I was doing a little Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back from years ago.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, so is that you? And then they say, yeah. And then I just, and I go old school. Abdominal stretch or airplane spin. Always.
I'm sorry I missed that. I was trying to decipher what you were doing. I told you.
No, it started off as like me just going on a rant, and then it started a little Billy Madison, like I said, people who not to kill. Yeah, and then I went to like when they started reading everybody who made fun of their movie and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Then they actually literally, because they made so much money, they went to every house and you see them beating the shit out of everybody. They're like, "Did you say Jay and Silent Bob are wusses?" And then you see them beating the shit out of you.
That's so good. Anyways, I totally forgot about that.
So much for taking up my own idea.
Good job, Coach.
However, it still works.
So, you two fuckbags here, Brian Olsen and Garland Myers, enjoy your Imbecile of the Week, your co-Imbecile of the Week. And
you're going to be Imbecile of the Year, I feel like.
They're in the running.
You get your own trophy.
Yep. So hopefully you'll get syphilis or herpes or something soon, and we don't have to hear
that. Would mean they had contact with a woman, and that ain't going to happen either. So,
or a man or non-binary. We don't judge.
Or a toilet seat.
Yes, Johnny.
Never mind. That was better than what I had to say.
Okay, good. All right, guys, that wraps it up here. Anything else, guys, you want to add before we wrap it up?
Troy Lint wins the Masters.
Ocho, what's your pick?
Samsonite. I was way off. I knew it started with an S.
What is that from? I'm going to feel stupid now.
Dumb and Dumber, you fucking dummy.
See, I don't even like that movie.
That doesn't matter if you like it. You fucking know what it's from.
Now we got a problem.
He's fired. He's fucking
You were
fired.
fine until you said
right
that.
The fuck now
you
legit
should feel
fired.
Everyone in this room.
No human being on planet Earth does not like Dumb and everybody loves that.
I award
don't
you
say I
no
don't like Jim
points.
Carrey because he doesn't
May God
overact
have
in that
mercy
movie.
on your soul.
Yeah, no, but for sure. And there's a Billy Madison.
And may God have mercy on your soul.
I already had to load it up.
Good man.
All right. Well, I'm in some shit here with these guys.
Well, it'll be just Johnny and I next week because this is horse shit, and we're not going to deal with this noise.
Meanwhile, you ever notice that Lloyd can't read when he's like, "Well, host a new host."
No, first he goes,
but right before he goes, "Oh,
we landed on the moon."
Swanson. He can read Swanson, but he can't read host a new.
No, but how do you read "We landed on the moon"?
Oh, yeah, right. Shit. Exactly. I forgot that too. We landed on the moon. All right, good.
No. All right, that's a good point. Fuck. Man, I love movie discrepancies.
Totally.
Sorry, guys. I just...
Yes, I do, Taryn. I got the picture I see.
I've watched it. I don't like it.
Give it another shot.
I will. You know what? It's been about 15 years or so. Like
he's got such a freaking predisposed freaking tone of it. He's not gonna let himself open up and get. How do you not?
I like Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels.
It took me like 5 watches to get into Step Brothers and Other Guys. And they're 2 of my all-time
favorites. See, I love Step Brothers.
I had to watch them like 5 times.
I'll say this. Right. It took me 2 or 3 to get Anchorman.
I'll agree with Anchorman, too. It took me a while to get it.
That one stole my heart. What's up, Brett? That one stole my heart.
Tell you what, I'll watch it in the next week.
That's why I'm about Dumb and Dumber, too. So
I'll give you a test because I can recite that movie, obviously, probably so can Oach, front to back. So.
Clearly. Okay. All right. Sorry, I brought that up. That being said, thank you, everybody. Thank you for showing up this week. As always, we love our regulars and our newbies and people that don't like to talk. Well, I mean, it's just like to watch us in the dark. That's fine. I do it without you all the time.
Did you touch my drum set?
Cops. No. I'm sweaty from watching Cops.
Very good.
Cops isn't on until 4:30. Yeah, I was fucking. Yeah.
Lassie.
Oh my nuts.
By the way, does anybody know that was Kim Cattrall that played Lassie in Porky's? She played the freaking.
Yeah.
It was yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I just only learned that like 2 years ago. Fuck.
Really? No. Yeah. I knew that.
I loved her as Samantha Jones.
When in Rome. Is that when in Sex in the City? Is that what that is?
Yes.
Of course. Not Mannequin?
Not Mannequin, no.
Oh, well, damn.
Boats and Hoes.
You're out. All right. Did we end the show yet? I'm at jp0842hike.com.
At Rad Rob Gaming, at JP0. What the fuck is I don't even know anymore. I don't even.
We're doing good with the plugs, and we really got a freaking good Twitter following too.
It's a fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Lena.
Catalina wine mixer.
We got to go. We'll see you guys.
We're not doing the plugs. We're not really doing
plugs. This called, and she said she can't go out with you because she's not your girlfriend.
You're the best of
Good night, everybody.
All right, good night.
We'll see you next
week. Everybody.
Peace out. Thank you.
But mainly, stay classy.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Johnny Jr. at JPJR07. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question for Johnny? Send your questions to straightUp5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.